Where are you, Mini 4 Pro? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Mini 4 Pro found, guys, just sitting right there on a tree. Just kidding, this is the tracking test for the Mini 4 Pro. Haven't found the one I lost. You guys are all asking me, have you found the one you lost in that range test? If you guys haven't seen the series on this thing, amazing series, unboxing, flight testing, range testing is where I lost one of these. But DJI sent me another one to complete my testing. So this is going to be all about tracking on vehicles and also a bike. And let's see how good this thing it can do. See if it crashes in other places that the previous generations have crashed, and just see how well this thing does. Let's get started with the Mini 4 Pro tracking test. All right, guys, so the two items I'm going to be riding to track on: little electric chopper I got here for review. Also going to be testing it on my truck as well. So I'm going to be driving around just safely in the neighborhood here at slower and higher speeds, so you can just see how it performs. Really hoping this one does better than the last few drones I've tested, because they have all crashed. All right, so this is going to be my little control center here. Got it taped on and Velcroed. Actually better than I thought it would be there. Now keep in mind, guys, I'm just on bypass. On the settings, I'll go ahead and record the screen here so you guys can see what's happening. And let's just do a hand takeoff and get going. Here we go. Nice, easy as that. Let's do some tracking. We want to do active track because spotlight will just stay there. And we'll just do trace for now. And let's start. So this is just one-time zoom. And let's just leave it at this distance for now and see what happens, okay? Don't lose track of me already, buddy. That was scary. Wow, so it's actually doing good down the driveway. I know DJI has done some updates, and look at this, it's actually getting around that corner. You know, I'm not going to go too fast at first, going about 10 right now. Pretty cool. Let's see how it does around these trees. Wow, very good. We'll take a left here, see how well it stays in track in these shadows. Awesome. Wow, not bad at all. So we'll do a run partially down just from the back, and then we'll start going into some other features, maybe adjusting the zoom a little bit. And let's see how fast we can kind of go before it like loses us. Going about 18 right now on the speedometer. So you can kind of see some limitations. You see how it's slowly getting back there and trying to keep track of me. I'm going to slow down a little bit, let it catch up. I am in normal mode. And you can just see it's being very cautious with these trees on the sides of it. So this is kind of what it does, is it kind of went down a little bit, actually. I'm kind of going downhill. So I do want to pick this up a bit. I'm just using the controller here because I don't want it to be, you know, hitting vehicles and stuff, of course, right? So good reverse track. It looks like it, you know, anything over 10, it's going to start to slow down. So the Mini 4 Pro, not that great for fast tracking. Let's try to drag this thing over to the front. Let's see how it deals with these trees. It's choosing to go around to the right. Wow, you really chose that path, huh, bud? Okay. Wow, still doing good, though. Let's see if it can retrack. Oh, man. So finding some limitations already. Do you see how it lost me there? So let's just manually kind of bring it in front. We are going to see how it is in the shade, of course. All right, let's try that. Let's just start moving so it knows what's going on. So there's trees. Boy, trees behind it. Strong environmental interference. So I guess that means just trees and whatnot are just really in its way, right? It's having a hard time. Bring it down a little bit. It's going quite a bit in front of me. Still working good though. Let's go drag this thing to the closer notch. You see that thing on the bottom left of the screen I'm recording for you guys? I'm just kind of giving it the benefit of the doubt, going kind of under 10 right now. But this is, okay, this is where we're gonna crash in all the other drones. So let's get back up to a farther distance. Okay, we're gonna bring it down a little bit. And this is where it always crashes. So I'm gonna pick up speed, or other drones always crash. We're gonna pick up speed, see if it can still track me. And around this hard corner, guys, this is where other drones crash right into these trees. Man, it just lost me there. Still finding limitations. All right. So that's the conundrum, guys, is I need to take over, get back over here, get up out of traffic in case a car comes by. Literally, the tree to your right here, this is where 2 or 3 other drones have just crashed into, all except for the Skydio. The Skydio was able to avoid it, but the Mavic 3, the new Air 3, and the Mini 3 all crashed into that one. So we'll just try to continue on here. Let's try to do this, guys. Let's try to do a little bit of zooming in if we can. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to use the right roller and just zoom in on myself. Let's see if this actually works a little bit better. Okay. So of course we're going to get this beeping. We could always mute if we wanted to. Let me try that real quick. I'm going to mute the controller. You see that? I'll have that on the screen. I'm muting it so we don't hear that beeping all the time. So we're going to have to watch our power just so we don't get messed up. So in mid-flight, let's bring our little guy over to the front. Okay, let's go on a short front track. There's trees to its right. Wow, it just barely dodged those guys. Let's see if we can get around front. I'm going about 11. All right, this is a kind of a cool view, man. Going 10 to 11, and it's able to get around to the front where there was kind of an open area out here to the right of me. It's not really tracking me exactly straightforward as I wanted to. Let's see what it does. But at least we can get these neat, smooth shots, you know? I'm gonna try a few different settings here coming up. But I just wanted to try everything normal for now. There's like a nifty mode and all this other stuff. Subject going too fast, so at least it warns you. You see how it's saying too fast on the bottom there? So anything over 10, it's saying I'm going too fast. So slow tracking only, guys, with this one. There's trees to its right. You can see its sensor on the controller screen turns red orange and red when it sees obstacles. Look at this. Holy smokes. All right, it really had a hard time there. So I got to take over manually. Let's kind of punch it up. It should. Yeah, it's finding a spot. So way better. Remember the Mini 3? I tried to do this. Punch up through the trees and it crashed right into a tree. It's doing pretty good in shadows though. And this is the center it's choosing to track me at. You know, if I wanted to alter this, guys, like where in the screen I am, I can also move the gimbal up and down. You see how I'm moving the gimbal down with the left roller? And so I can move the subject around in the screen how I want. You know, if I want a little bit more of the horizon, I can do that, pick it up a little bit. Do a little swerving. See how it tracks. How we doing? Good? Yeah, looks like we're doing pretty good still. It seems like as long as you don't go too fast for this guy, it does okay. Let's push it to the limits and see how fast we can go. I'm now going 15, 20. Hey, 20, it's doing it. Let's go a little faster. Let's go 25. All right, well, it's surprising me. And that could be because it was just kind of an open road for a little while. Let's see once the trees start to encroach. Going 26. And you see how I'm kind of pulling out in front of it a bit? Oh yeah, so it just lost me. I'm slamming on my brakes. Will you retract me, please? So I don't have to do anything. Man, that's a bummer. So guys, it's gotten better, but it's still not perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, right? Does it still have that zooming on me? Yeah, it kind of maintained my zoom. So you can see how the zoomings work. I'm just gonna go maybe at 2 times and do that again. So at least you have that ability to zoom while you track. All right, buddy, let's whip you around to the front. Front close. See how I just dragged the thing on the bottom of the screen? Only going 10 miles per hour. There are some power lines coming up here. Oh man, and it's right. Let's see if it crashes. Ooh. Oh wow, it saw that black one and it went under it. Great. Well, that's promising. So here we're getting a little squirrely. It kind of lost me retracking. I had to slow down. Now keep in mind, I'm in close proximity tracking right now. Let's take a little right-hand turn here, see what it does. I'm only going 8 miles per hour. See if it can keep up. What I'd like to really see is if it can't get in front, if it can just kind of maintain the track behind it until it can, or behind me until it can. You know? It's gonna keep trying to get in front, I know. I'm being hard on it. But let's just see. See, look at that. So this is where we have these conundrums, right? There we go, retract. I had to stop though. If I kept going full speed, it would have lost me. So they have improved the retracking. Let's just bring her up. Wow, it just totally canceled itself. So this is kind of a dangerous situation around a corner. Do not want to be here. Just follow me, buddy. Let's get up a little higher. Oops. I was in spotlight. See how spotlight just stayed there until I changed it? Boy, it's losing me. I'm gonna turn around here. Still having issues. At least it retracked me automatically. Let's see if it'll whip around to the rear, how it deals with this. Oh my gosh. Whoa, geez, it just crashed. God dang it. It still gets in these little holes with trees and it's still crashing. I really thought we would have been over that already, gotten past these little stupid crashes. There it is there on the ground. It looks like it just, oh, it's still on. So it worked its way into this hole and I had it to track behind me. So it was kind of waiting to get behind me, but apparently, I mean, these are all green pine tree branches. There's no, you know, sticks or anything. And boy, let's see if we have any damage, DJI. Okay, it feels like they made the arms more durable. Looks like where it hit, there was dirt right here. And none of the cameras are damaged, scraped. This one is facing down. Oh, so the front cover flew off. Yep, that went bye-bye. Literally all it is just a guard. Then you take that off to put your ND filters on, so that's not gonna really matter much. Boy, guys, finding the issues, right, as usual. So it was pretty good up until then. There you go, never fails. Really testing the limits on this guy. Some of you may think I'm being hard on this, but this is the environment I have to do my tests. I mean, yes, I'm in the mountains, I'm in the country, but you know, it's a regular sized road with pine trees on the side. People want a drone that you can just put up in the air, forget about it, tell it to go where you want to go, which honestly, I know I'm referencing the Skydio again too, but that thing did it better than any DJI drone I've seen do at speed. So let's see if there's anything wrong with it. Oh, seems to be flying okay. Keep an eye on this video because we want to make sure that the video is still good after that crash, or if there's a little buzz to it. The Mini 3 had a problem with the video after I crashed. It started to get really jittery and I had to take that into service. Remember, the Mini 3 didn't really have upwards omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, which this one says it does. But, you know, as usual, pushing the limits and finding still what these types of drones just cannot do. So we'll get going back up the road here at more of a rear track. Again, seems to do very well in rear tracking. I kind of do want to do around that corner again though. Oh my God, did you? Geez, it hit the telephone wire. Holy smokes, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm lucky it's still flying and didn't crash on the road. Did you guys see that? Oh boy. Look at those wires. So it's spun around. It's facing behind. That's what it hit. So there's a truck coming. That was insane, man. Boy, that's a heavy load. Wonder what's going on there. I've never hit a telephone wire before in tracking. No test is a bad test if it gives you information. So let's continue going. I don't think there's any more telephone lines on the way home here, so we don't have to worry about that. It seems like it's flying okay, so let's do a POI. Go. So it's going to slowly try to rotate to the right of me. Now this may be doing it into till it dies, but it should go up and over or avoid trees. Oh boy, it just gets so close to these trees. Look at this. Man, are you gonna hit that? Dude. Okay. Man. Just really finding all the issues. It's trying to come back. See, at least it tries to go back to its last known tracking point. If you could just go around that to the left, why not? And then maybe if I move, there you go. Retracking. I'm turning off the POI. Geez, look at this. This is asking for another crash. Okay, I need to manually get this thing out of these trees because honestly, I just don't trust it. Keep up, please. Man, frustration. There's always this kind of frustration with these drones. I thought it would be better. Let's go into Nifty. As you can see here, it says, well, that's only for control stick controlling. It doesn't say anything about tracking, but let's just try Nifty anyway. See if there's any difference. So it doesn't know I'm a person now. See, this is exactly what was happening with the Air 3. It just didn't know I was a person anymore. So it thinks I'm some kind of different kind of object. Let's try that again. Nope. All right, not letting me track. Let's go back into normal. Okay, yes. Okay, you can remove that. You can remove that warning there. Why is that warning still up? Okay, DJI, come on, man. You still got a lot of stuff to work on. Jeez, what? Okay, so apparently this drone is having issues. Let's try this. Boop. There we go. Yeah, the camera still looks great. It's focusing in. Look at that. beautiful camera. But I'm wondering if it's the sun. Let's try to go back downhill, kind of more into the sun, I guess, what we started with, and see if it still gives us that issue. Boy, you would think if the sun's on you, lighting you up, it would have an easier time, but look at this. It's having an easier time in my shadow. Man, that's kind of funny, I'll tell you that. Let's try to zoom in a bit. Remember when we zoomed in? It did pretty well. I'm gonna try to turn around right here. And can you just, I'm gonna go real slow, give you a chance. We're going really slow. It's seeing the tree behind it. Apparently that stuff's still working on its avoidance. Good. Okay, well that was a good test. Let's see if it can keep going or if it loses me up here. Maybe there was just some kind of algorithm. Oh, man, come on. It's just having trouble like identifying a human when the sun's on me. That's really too bad. Come on, retract. Yeah, I'm frustrated enough to quit. This is just ridiculous. Grab ya. Okay, that's enough for me. Let's get home and see what we can do. Maybe we can track a vehicle a little bit better. At least my bike's still working good. This little electric chopper, guys, from Aloha, I did a review on. This thing has lasted me, I want to say almost 2 years now. And it's still just like how it was when it came. How many miles I got? I got 488 miles on this bike, and it's still working great. Well, would you look at that, guys? So I didn't see this when we were kind of inspecting it, but if you look at the bottom here, it's actually got a big crack in the bottom of the arm. So possibly something I can kind of super glue just to kind of get back in flying. This thing already crashed, so I'm hoping that there's no other malfunctions it's had, and that's kind of keeping it from tracking how it's supposed to. Aside from this arm, I have a feeling it's just the limits of what this thing can do. But let me repair this and then let's get back up in the air and see what else we can do here. All right, guys, so tracking attempt 2. I went ahead and glued the arm on the little Mini 4 Pro. There's these 2 star screws on the top and the bottom of the arm joint. If you unscrew those, the plastic kind of separates from this metal spring-loaded rod. And so I just kind of pulled the arm out a little bit and super glued it and made sure it like stuck back together. So I think that's definitely not going to be as strong as a new arm, but it's going to get us through a review. It seems solid. It's not cracking or breaking or anything. And that really was the only damage. The propellers were all fine. Remember, it just kind of hit a tree and then fell onto that arm. I also went ahead and put on the lightest ND filter DJI has for this one. It's the ND16. Hopefully that doesn't affect the tracking at all. For this test, I'm gonna do white car here. My truck, its battery just died. Because this is white, it's gonna have great contrast to the road. If it can't do this, then there's a problem, and these guys really need to get on the bandwagon with tracking. Let's just see how it does. I mean, there should be no excuse for it with this white car, but we're just gonna see how it gets down the driveway first. I always like doing this stuff down this curved driveway as an initial test. You know, just because. Don't hit the trees, buddy. We already had that issue. My goodness. Wow, so it's trying, what's it doing? Okay, wow, that was interesting. It chose to go high. So it's choosing to go high right now. It apparently knows it's tracking a car. Do you see on the left hand side of the screen on the bottom left, it has that little pop-up icon, and there's a car in the middle. So it's recognizing the car. Interesting how it's tracking me from the very top. I'm gonna turn left here and see if it kind of comes down a bit, or if it's just gonna continue to track from high. I would assume that it's doing that to stay out of traffic, because since it knows it's a car, it's probably going higher to stay out of traffic, right? So let's see what happens. So far, so good. We're gonna let it track from the back for a little bit just see how this goes. Let's get up a little bit of speed here, going 20. It seems much better. There's some tall trees up here. Let's see how it deals with this. It's just staying right over the tops of everything. So this is working great. Let me switch it around to the front. So just clicking and dragging that little reticle to get around to the front. And let's see if it can deal with this, and hopefully it doesn't crash. There's also someone walking their dog here, so we don't crash into them. I wonder what their reaction to this drone's gonna be. So coming around the hairpin, this is where they all crash. Woo, just going right over the tops of trees. Boy, and it just completely lost me. Did you see that? So there's no way it's gonna retract. So, man, even on a car, it seemed to be doing better, but you see what I've got to do here? I've got to readjust. Let me just start off in the front. I'm gonna go over to the front here. And I'm gonna kind of put it in the position I want. I wanted it lower because that's kind of not really giving it the same kind of equivalent test as the bike, right? Because it's just above all these trees. So say I wanted to track here, I mean, it will run into some trees if it does crash. And let's do track from the front. Okay, let's start moving. So come on, start backing up, buddy. All right. So in the auto, all right, we're just gonna do the same route and see if it crashes, okay guys? Remember I was kind of coming down here. Now there's some big pine trees right here. Let's see how it deals with this. And it, whoa, oh my God. It just crashed and fell on the ground. I almost ran over it. That's ridiculous. Oh, geez. What a nightmare. Come on, DJI. Oh my God. This is just getting ridiculous. Battery flew out. It must have hit this tree right here. That's all I can think of. The arm is completely gone. Well, let's just fold it in. Holy smokes, man. Now, I'm hoping that, yeah, geez, look at that rear arm. It's just completely cracked. So I think we're done. I think we're done with this, and let's get back to the house. I'm just so frustrated. Let's get back to the house and do a pros and cons, because you can probably hear it in my voice. Just totally disappointed. Man. Well, at least we would have got the recording on the controller screen if it was corrupted. All right, guys, let's do our little pros and cons with the Mini 4. That was a very short-lived and disappointing tracking test. Obviously, it hit the pavement here. It broke the little light lens off and just totally, completely cracked this arm. It's probably about 65, 70 degrees out, so it's not entirely cold, especially in the sun. It does look like that's where it hit the tree. There's a little green spot here, so it was backing up. And it must have just either saw the tree at the last second or didn't see it at all. We'll be able to tell in the screen recording on the controller. I'll have that all up so you guys could see all of the telemetry and the video of what was going on. Bottom line is DJI drones, don't think you can track and avoid without crashing. You know, we were on a straightaway. Yeah, there was pine trees on either side, and there was that one big pine tree it crashed into was kind of overhanging the road, but what's the use of tracking and avoidance if it cannot track and avoid? Still have a lot of work to do, DJI, on your drones, especially in areas where there are going to be obstacles. Yes, these work great where there's no obstacles, but you're playing a gamble when you come around a corner or there's a tree or there's a telephone pole. How many people must be crashing these thinking they can just put it up and it will track them with this 360-degree so-called obstacle avoidance. Just doesn't feel like it is up to par. But anyway, if you guys watch my channel, you would have seen my couple of discrepancies with the Skydio. Now this is getting back to the Skydio, but I really do hope a company kind of takes over that or gets better at, like if DJI can get better at the sports tracking, because the Skydio did great. In some instances it would lose you, yes, but it wouldn't ever run into anything, and that was the great thing. Occasionally I had it like land on top of a tree because it was out of battery power, but I can't really remember it crashing into anything. And of course, you know, I keep all the sensors clean every time I go up. I always wipe these off, make sure there's no scratches on them, make sure there's no dirt, smudges. And sometimes honesty can be brutal, but you know, that's how it works. And this isn't my first tango with the drone. I've been doing this for a while. They just do not seem to be getting better at certain things while tracking. It is midday, you know, it's winter, so the sun isn't perfectly overhead. It's kind of at that winter arc here. So maybe that had something to do with it, the shadow of the tree maybe, but you know, it's gonna be hard to have a perfect circumstance. So really guys, bottom line is just don't do any tracking unless there's no obstacles, especially if you're trying to do anything aside from rear tracking. Lots of improvements they can still do. I'm gonna try to contact DJI. I still have that range test Mini 4 lost in the forest somewhere. No, I haven't found it yet, guys. I really appreciate all the best wishes. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys got a lot of information about how this thing tracks. I know it was brutal, but this is realistic reviews. This isn't some sugar-coated review. You're not gonna find that stuff from me. Even though DJI does send me now their drones for testing, I am not gonna lie about it. That's just how this thing performed for me. Why lie? Why mislead anybody? That's just how it is. Anyway, I hope you like it, guys. Lots more to come on the channel, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.